welcome. It's Red Leaf, Retrocast time. retroGaming. Is JD joined? Colin, Joey, how you guys doing?
Hello.
Hey.
All right.
Doing pretty well.
Oh, man. So besides incredibly hot weather and me going to the beach yesterday, it's been a nice little couple last 2 weeks. Guys,
Nice.
my bowling average is like 234 right now. It's pretty crazy.
That's good.
Yes, it's very good.
Awesome.
Some would call it pro level, not humble brag, just totally bragging. But it's my theme pick today. My theme pick, I've had this on the back burner for quite some time, and it's titled "Is It Better?" And it was a while ago. I would say at least a year ago. We played a couple games for this podcast, namely, I think it was Kevin who was on there. He picked a Castlevania game, and we played Hitman Silent Assassin at some point as well. So I wanted to always play these couple sequels to some of these games we've played, but, themes or circumstances or just, kind of what we were in the mood for. It didn't ever feel like the right time. But now it has. And I've picked 2 games of sequels we have played before, namely those couple games I just mentioned. And I am wondering, did they do it better than those games we've covered previously? First impressions, what did you guys think of this topic and the games we played without any crazy spoilers for our thoughts?
I like the topic. The games, we'll get into that.
Colin?
I mean, the topic is intriguing, but I can't say I was expecting the games you picked. Thinking maybe Jack 3 or some other such thing.
It's definitely that type of topic where it gives us opportunity to just kind of pick anything, but also kind of goes in line with, let's say, podcast lore, if there is such a thing.
Or continuity, I suppose.
Continuity, yeah. That's another thing. I've also kind of brainstormed the topic of a couple of our highest rated games or something we may have over or underrated in the past, and saying is it still this or something? That was another topic I'm floating around, just for an excuse to replay another game, because we have been doing this podcast for, I guess, 5.5 years now.
Holy shit!
Well, at least I have. But you've been on it for quite some time, Colin, and Joey, you're a couple of years in now.
Yeah, it's like 4.5 years for me.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if Joey could do a topic where it's okay, play a couple games before his time, and get his thoughts on those.
The before time?
The before time, the long ago. All right. Let's get going here before my mother doesn't get angry with me. We're looking for homes, guys. She's up here for a couple weeks. Oh. It's gonna be hectic. Like I said, beach yesterday. It was golf on Friday. We're doing shit every day. Great sushi meal on Thursday, Joey. Let me tell you. Actually, here we go. Big story on Friday night. Went to a Peruvian Bolivian restaurant. Okay, you ready for this? It's called Los Andes, and one particular thing on the meal is, it's it says serves to. It's like a sample platter type deal. You get mashed potatoes. You get, we ordered the coleslaws the other side. And then you get to have all this Peruvian made meat samples. Okay? So we're okay, so there'll be some of ribs, different types of sausage and steak and whatever. Well, this thing comes and it's 4 stories tall of just meat.
Holy shit.
It was just so insane. And we didn't even go crazy on the appetizers. It was just all right, you want to split this one thing that has 4 pieces? And we're yeah, okay, sure. This fucking meat platter comes out and we just stare at it going, uh-oh, what have we done? Here, I'll send a picture in Discord of like this just mound of meat, and like I filled up 2 of my plates with this just meat combination, and it looked like I didn't even
Holy-
touch it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like $50 serves 2. We're like, okay, it's $50. How big could it be? You know, we're thinking like single, fajita type setup there,
Like a bunch of steaks.
right? It's not anything what we imagined. Yeah, that's what we've been doing. Colin, what games have you been playing?
Well, before I go into that, I have to talk about how eventful one of my work weeks was, because I ended up running over my phone at the dump at work. I had to look for a new one.
Why'd you run over your phone, Colin?
Well,
Why wasn't it in your pocket or in your backpack? Your rucksack?
basically, I thought I had put my phone in my backpack in the truck cab before getting out to dump what was inside the truck.
Mm-hmm.
But by habit, I put it in my pants pocket. And because I have to go down some steps to get out of the truck because it's so high, and because my work uniform's pants can't hold stuff inside them for shit, my phone fell out and landed on the ground. I didn't notice at first, but when I did my usual pocket pat that I like to do every few minutes, because this wasn't the first time my phone fell out of my pants pocket at work.
A pocket pat you like to do every few minutes?
Yeah, make sure everything's in there. My phone, my wallet, my
yes.
keys.
I also like to make sure everything's in there.
Because, hey, sometimes you forget shit.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes I gotta check if there's 1 ball in there, 2 balls. You don't know. You don't know what's happened. Joey, this sounds like negligence on his part. What do you think?
It was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
Experience with default pants in the past. Knows he has to go up and downstairs. Maybe has fallen out before as well. I don't know.
That's what I just said, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. This I don't have sympathy for you, Colin. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to be a good friend in this moment. I think you need to act better, be more responsible. Be more of an adult.
Well, fuck you too.
Yeah, I know. Well, phones are expensive, and I'm laying down my foot here. This is pretty unacceptable on you.
You don't have to tell me they're expensive. So
Did
yeah,
you have a iPhone, Samsung Galaxy, or did you go like the Motorola route?
it was a Samsung Galaxy S9.
Ooh.
Had it for 3 years.
Well, maybe it was time anyways, and subconsciously you're like, this is going in the pants pocket. Whatever happens, I guess new phone's coming, boys.
But yeah, I didn't find my phone in my pants pocket, so I went and felt around inside my bag and didn't find it in there either.
Is that
So
also
at this
another
point-
euphemism for path in your pants? No.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Well, look, Colin, very lonely single guy here. Sometimes I need to, check the path of my pants, just like you.
Well, I can't say you're not open-minded.
Can I check the path of your pants?
No.
Ah,
Do you want to measure my inseam?
I'm just checking the size, Joey. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was just checking the size. I went off. What?
You went off. Did you gain some weight? Is that where you're going with that? That's where you're going with that. Absolutely. We're just going to go with that.
Yeah, keeping it PG.
Yeah, exactly. You have the dirty mind, not me. My God. All right, so what have you been playing?
Wait. I didn't finish my story, dude.
Oh, there's more to it than running over your phone and playing with your pants?
I didn't get to the point where I actually did that.
Oh.
So I'm saying, yeah, I didn't find my phone in my bag. So I'm getting nervous because I needed to move the truck forward and then accelerate backward and slam on the brakes in order to get some stuff loose. Because the truck was struggling to get the load out. I'm sure we've all been there at some point.
Nah. I may eat too much Taco Bell for that to be a problem.
But yeah, I get out and find my phone right there, face down in the tire track. I pick it up, and the screen is at least halfway cracked to hell. I'm like, fuck! But just to be sure, I hit the power button, and to my surprise, it still worked. But there was a big black patch on one side of the display.
Mm.
So I finish at the dump, scale out, and pull the truck over, and I test the phone out and find it. All the regular functions like calling, texting, and internet data actually worked normally. It was just the screen that was fucked up.
I wonder if you could just get the screen replaced and that would have been better.
Yeah, I looked online. It would have been almost as expensive as a new phone.
Figured.
And
that's how they get you.
Yeah, really. There's no doubt in my mind that if I didn't have an OtterBox protector on my phone, the damage would have been a lot worse. So, since then, I got myself a refurbished Galaxy S10 off of Amazon, and so far it's working pretty well.
Okay.
So,
success.
Two morals of the story, kids. 1, don't run over your phone. 2, if you own a smartphone, get a protector. If you drop your phone even just once with it on, that thing's paid for itself several times over.
I say pay for pants that fit as well. You know, maybe a belt.
That's just smart.
And it's not up to me, it's up to the company.
I think you have a choice in what kind of pants you wear, Colin. Sorry, boss. These pants are extra large. I need a medium, thank you.
But yeah,
or is he one of those like Italian guys that sits in a car while you do all the work, and then you go over to his window, and then you're like, boss, my pants are loose. What do I do? And he goes, see, that's going to have to come out of your paycheck, Colin, or would you prefer some concrete slippers? Is your boss like that?
No.
No?
I don't think I have any Italian supervisors.
Is he at least Italian descent?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, what is he then?
He is white as a polar bear.
Well, Italians can be white too.
Well, I couldn't tell you.
Well, you need to ask him, hey, where are you from? And then you got to go a step further. Where's his ancestors from? And if he's Italian, then all this makes sense. Okay?
Well, anyway, as for the games I've been playing, I finally beat Murder by Numbers and Oendan 2.
Wow. Big gamer over here.
Those were quite a journey. Though I feel Oendan 2 may have made me better at rhythm games overall. Looks like I need a new toilet game.
May I suggest Danganronpa?
Oh, I'll get to Danganronpa in a sec.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
I mean, as for Murder by Numbers, I mentioned it was like Phoenix Wright, but it's actually closer to Ace Attorney Investigations, since there aren't any actual courtroom battles in it. But they're teasing a sequel, so maybe I'll see. I'll look into it. If the composer comes back for the music, I'll be interested. But yeah, now that those games are completed, I'm in a Danganronpa mood after listening to some Best of Game Grumps Danganronpa videos in the truck at work.
Okay.
Because lately I've been getting a lot of pickers, so I'm not on the back of the truck for most of the day, so I gotta find something to entertain myself. But yeah, I've been playing Danganronpa V3.
The game I contemplated just not playing at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's got even more style to it than the previous two games, so it's been a fun ride so far.
How far are you into it?
Like you, I just finished the first trial last night. Like usual, the characters take some getting used to, though I'm liking the ultimate maid girl. She's got the vibe of Roberta from Black Lagoon, and I'm digging it. And I'm also liking the ultimate evil overlord kid. It's like an even more entertaining version of Nagito from Danganronpa 2.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I finished the first trial last night, and let me tell you, how it concludes is a major WTF gut punch moment. Even by Danganronpa standards, you'd never see it coming. So I'm definitely in it to win it. I've also been playing, or attempting to play Rune Factory here and there while on the toilet, and I'm honestly not liking it. The controls are unintuitive. I can't figure out where anything is. I don't know how to get a sword for dungeon crawling, which is super weird.
Well, which Rune Factory are you playing?
The first one.
The very first one?
Yeah.
Fuck, when did that come out?
I can't remember.
Oh, let's see here.
So,
Are you talking about Rune Factory Harvest Moon? Or...
well, it says A Fantasy Harvest Moon.
Okay, so the Harvest Moon one. So that came out on the DS in 2007 in North America. Okay.
Looks like it.
All right, so tell me about this game. What's wrong with it?
Like I said, if you've played Stardew Valley, you kind of have an idea of how this plays.
Okay.
But like I said, the controls are kind of unintuitive because in order to select items on the fly, you hit a trigger and then the B button that you gotta cycle through a bunch of stuff. But if you're like me and by habit you don't let go of the trigger, you can't cycle through anything, so you gotta let go and do that. I mean, it's kind of a nitpick, but I found it really annoying. But there's also, like I said, I can't figure out how to get a sword for dungeon crawling. I mean, I've been to every shop in town, and none of them sell swords. One of them can upgrade swords and items, but I can't buy a sword off of them. And most frustrating of all, I can't see how much money I have until I'm in shops and looking through item lists.
Isn't it a magic casting game, though?
Is it?
I vaguely remember hearing that, it's not like... the action isn't your typical RPG. It's more of about casting magic and stuff.
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, that sounds more like an Atelier series thing, even though I haven't played those. I'm interested in playing Atelier Ryza, but that's for another day. But yeah, maybe I'm just spoiled by how well done Stardew Valley is, but I don't think I'm going to be continuing with Rune Factory. Maybe I'll just start up Dragon Quest V instead.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll actually play that along with you, because I still have yet to beat the game, and I've wanted to restart it for quite some time.
Cool.
So how about this? We both start that game, and then we talk about how far we get in the next podcast. How's that?
Sure.
All right, we got a deal. Joey, you in on this?
No.
Ah. Fun. So this is saying Rune Factory has similar fighting mechanics to the SNES Legend of Zelda games. So I'm definitely wrong there. You can befriend monsters. I've always been interested in trying out the Rune Factory games. Man, we're close to... next month, we could pick Rune Factory 1 and see how that goes.
I won't be picking it. I've already got a few games that I'm looking at.
Okay.
If you guys want to do it, knock yourselves out. But I won't. I will definitely not be enjoying it.
How far did you get?
I got far enough that I unlocked the first dungeon. So far, I haven't gotten any crops fully grown yet.
Okay. Let's see here. See how much these games go for. Rune Factory. Because they're very popular. I know that much.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like all the games are $20. God, there was a Rune Factory Tides of Destiny on the PS3. And Wii.
Huh.
Rune Factory 4 Special on the Switch. Rune Factory 5. That's the newest one. Rune Factory 3. Did anything? Okay, so 4 was a 3DS game remastered for the Switch. I'm like looking at all this in real time, trying to learn about this. I'm actually not seeing. Oh, that's because the different name. Duh. Okay. Yeah, like $20-$30, depending where you are. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna mark that down as possible.
Yeah, I haven't. It's been maybe years since I bought my copy, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Is that it?
But yeah, that's all the games I've been playing.
All right, Joey, hit us. Hit it up.
Why do I want to hit you?
Well, don't physically hit me. Figuratively.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
use
I
your
beat
mind.
Half-Life.
Use your mind power.
So-
You beat Half-Life, okay.
Yeah. The boss was okay. It kind of felt like a little letdown from everything else in the game. Like, it was way harder to get to him than it was to beat him.
Yes,
So-
I agree with that. It's pretty ridiculous.
Then I played a little bit of Timberborn.
Hold on. What ending did you get? Because there's like
What
five.
ending?
There's like 5 of them or some shit.
There's the choice that you can make from G-Man. I thought there's only 2. Either you choose to work with him or you die. So I chose to work with him.
I thought there was like 5 endings. So there's like those 2 main ones, and then there's like other. No, am I wrong, Colin?
I think you're wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
All
there's
there is the G-Man choice.
oh, okay. Well, which one did you choose, Joey?
I chose to live.
You chose to live.
Yeah. So
Did you at least
Yeah,
look
you
up the death one?
yeah, I saved and chose to die too. So why not? And then I played a little bit of Timberborn because I was bored. Then I played some Tribes of Midgar, and I finally defeated the Saga 1 boss solo. So that was fun. Now I got to get back and beat Saga 2 boss. Figure out how to do that solo. And then I played and beat Stray. So that was a fun little game.
The cat game?
Yep. It's only like 4 or 5 hours of gameplay.
Oh, it's really that short?
It's like 6 or 7 if you want 100% it. But there's actually an achievement to beat it under, I think, like 2 hours. So you can really like beat it fast.
Are you gonna try and do that?
Maybe. I don't know. There's one thing about the ending that I didn't like. But
All right, so tell me about Stray. Like, what is this game?
so you're
Thoughts
kitty
over
cat.
the gameplay, that kind of stuff.
You're a kitty cat. You get separated from your other kitty cat friends, and you fall into the city. And you pretty much try to open up the city that hasn't opened up in 300 years. That's now only has robots. And you're accompanied by a little drone that you slowly figure out who he is because his memory is fuzzy and whatnot. So you have to go around town getting his memories back and getting through these area of like these tick-like things that want to kill everything.
Oh.
So you just pretty much need to hack a bunch of stuff, fight against this like robot sentry thing, and reopen the city. So it's really like it's more for like story than it is for like gameplay, because the most gameplay thing is running away from the tick things.
Sure.
All the jumps are just pressing A and it automatically does the jumps for you, so it's not like any skill involved in that.
Okay.
But it's just like exploring the
Is
city
it like
and whatnot.
linear platforming type deal?
No, I mean, there's parts where you have to find like 4 journals, so you have to climb all over the city, up and down the buildings to get into open windows to find these journals. So it's. I mean, there's a meow button, so that game is like game of the year for me. So I mean,
It's like the fart button in Oddworld.
Right. Same deal.
so yeah, I mean, I liked it. It wasn't that bad. It was a little short. I thought it would be a little longer, but yeah, it was a nice little game.
Well, I've kept it simple this time around. I stuck to podcast games, really, but I did get an RPG that came out recently. It's called Live Alive. or Live
Yeah, I've
Alive,
heard of
or
that
Live a
one.
Live, or Live a Live. I don't know how you pronounce this thing. No one
Yeah,
can give me a straight answer.
looks something like an Octopath Traveler type thing.
So it really stuck out to me because it's a remake of I believe it's a old SNES title that was never translated or brought over to the West. And this one was remastered, remade in the Octopath Traveler engine. So, like I said in the last podcast, I'm really into these style of games and how they mechanically play out. By the way, Triangle Strategy story's picking up, so I'm finally like super into it.
That's good.
But I popped in Live Alive. It got good reviews. It seemed like it was something right up my alley and what my flavor of taste of in gaming is right now. And it's essentially a mock-up of RPGs from that era and just before. So you have 7 characters. I think it's 7. We'll go with 7. 7 characters, 7 stories, and they're all in like different time periods. And therefore, they're also in different genres that they're kind of parodying. So I saw this one character, and he wants to be the strongest fighter in the world. And you click him, and he has to go through 7 opponents, and it's exactly set up like the Street Fighter pick your fighter menu. And then it goes into kind of arcade style fighting, and the game mechanics are this kind of open square, and you can move your character freely in this square, and then it's kind of action turn based from there. And you
Okay.
yeah, and you have very varying different abilities, and I believe you'll get more characters, but you complete one chat, and then it's the chapters are set up much like Octopath Traveler as well, where you can do chapter 2 with that same character right away. And I'm sure there's like a hard line point where you need other characters to join in because they I don't know. I'm assuming there's some time warp or something where they all come together. But the Street Fighter one was funny because there's like an American, and he is absolutely totally supposed to be Hulk Hogan. One guy is, oh yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna be the best fighter, brother. I was like, oh, okay. The exact catchphrases and shit. Blonde hair. Another character is exactly like Sagat from Street Fighter, and you know, the list goes on. And it's got quirky little mechanics to it all. Super into it. It definitely has the style I love. It looks beautiful. The game music and sound is hitting me quite well as well. So so far I recommend it. I haven't gotten more than, I would say, an hour or so into the game. Family came in town, like I said, so gaming has been put on the back burner. It's kind of why I was so adamant about playing the 2 games we were playing for the podcast like way ahead of time, so I could at least get to a point where I'm comfortable talking about it. And so yeah, right now I'm playing Triangle Strategy and Live Alive, and I don't know, I guess Dragon Quest V now. So 3 RPGs. I'm RPG heavy in my life. Horizon Forbidden West on the back burner.
I'm looking at. Well, I've always pronounced it Live Alive, but looking at the combat, it looks a lot like the combat from Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky.
Yeah, it's probably a good comp. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you've played those games a lot more recent than I have.
Well, I've only played the first game so far, but
yeah, it's very easy combat. It's more of like finding people's weaknesses and whatnot. It's very, very simplistic, but it's more or less a fun parody type game with deeper mechanics than you might think. I have read reviews where once you get to like the second half of the game, it gets kind of grindy.
yeah.
So I'm wondering how I'm going to feel about that when I get to that point. That's my one worry. Okay.
I mean, you gave up on Persona 3 for exactly that reason.
Fuck.
So.
Yeah, Persona 3 was pretty absurd. Which is disappointing because a lot of people consider that the best one. Well, Maybe it's the second best one now. I don't know. There's 3, 4,
Now it's
5.
that-
Pick one.
Oh, it's that people thought 4 was the best. But then again, that was before I think that was before 5 came out, but I
don't know
keeping
what
my
the
ear to the ground.
hierarchy behind fandom is now, but 3's. God, I want them to remake that and be less grindy. Let's get on with the story. Anyways, we're getting off topic. I'm gonna play the music, and we can just get into our topic here. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, is it better? Nice little 30-minute intro there. Again, reiterate that the point of this topic was we covered 2 games on the podcast in the past. I had a number of games in mind, from Max Payne 2 to God, what would be another? I had a few in my head, but Max Payne 2 like directly comes to mind. Maybe Phoenix Wright 2, if that even qualifies. But I end up choosing Castlevania Lament of Innocence because when Kevin was on the podcast, he picked what was the title of that Castlevania called? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Castlevania Curse of Darkness.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, Curse of Darkness, and that was picked way back in episode 57, 2019. So it's been a while. So I've had this even longer than I thought. Yeah, so episode 57. And then the second game was Hitman Contracts. And we played Hitman Silent Assassin on episode 61. So we're pretty close to each other. It was the Onimusha. That was the other one that I was thinking of. Onimusha 2 was something I thought about. But I went with these because Lament of Innocence was a game that came out in 2003. And
but didn't Curse of Darkness come out after that?
I don't think so.
I thought it came out in 2005.
Curse of Darkness. Well, let's double check, because that'll be an interesting perspective as well. Then.
Yeah, it says.
Wow, it came out afterwards.
November.
Okay, it definitely. Well, that gives us a. Is it better? Is it better than? Is the prequel better? That's okay. That actually gives me a little bit even further perspective.
Okay.
Interesting. That gives me a totally different perspective now. Now I look at Lament of Innocence. So Lament of Innocence came out in 2003. And at that point in time, the Castlevania series had gone through like 20 years of history at that point. And their idea was to make an origin story. And you even go as far as see... have any of you seen the Netflix show?
Yep, I've watched all 4 seasons.
I think I've only watched 2 seasons.
I'm only 2 seasons in myself. But it follows, what is it, Leon? Leon Belmont? Yeah, Leon. Even the Netflix series shows Leon as this like epic character of the past, and it's from this game, Lament of Innocence. And I'm curious, do you guys remember like big advertising in magazines or whatnot of this time over this Castlevania game?
I don't think so. I might have heard the name here and there.
Okay.
But I've also heard other Castlevania games here and there, like Aria of Sorrow and all that.
Okay. So this is chronologically the first game in the series, big origin story. Let's see, it came out just before Christmas season 2003. Published by Konami. And one thing that was going on with Konami at the time, and I'm wondering if you noticed this, was at the time they had like just closed down a few studios of theirs, and they were on a tight budget, along with what they were expecting sales to be. at least in the concept of like labor to sales. So how much can we input into the game and be able to say the game was successful with how much they sell. So they cut the budget down so much. The sales goal was much lower than many other games at the time of what other studios were expecting. So my first question to you guys is, what do you think they cut the budget on? Just by playing the game.
Not sure. I'd like to say the graphics, but they're not bad.
Okay. So Colin's going with graphics. Joey, what are you taking a stab at?
I honestly have no idea. Maybe like layout.
Layout. Okay.
Oh yeah, the map layout. There were a lot of empty halls.
Well, remember that was kind of par for the course at the time in general, because that's what more or less the PS2 was capable of and how they were able to program into it. It was actually the voice acting and script.
Interesting.
So lower paid voice actors, hence why it seemed like it was a C crew kind of voice acting everything. And the script was super simplistic and not translated very well. The more time-consuming aspects of the game, what they actually put pretty much all of their money into was gameplay and graphics. That's what they focused on extensively for this. It was criticized though at the time for like rinse repeat level design and too much backtracking for certain things. Yeah. But let me talk about the story here. Let's see. You are Leon. He fights for, I don't know, some medieval fuckers, and his wife is taken by evil vampire guy. He's been doing it for many, many years, decades even, probably a century. And it's he makes it a game because vampires get bored. It's always part of the vampire lore, isn't it? It's like, live so long, I'm bored. They try to find shit. So Leon goes to try to save him. The, I guess, kingdom is like, okay, well, you have to come help us kill all these, like, I think it's Islamic invaders, which is pretty wild. Like, all these people from the Middle East are coming to invade our land, and we have to stop them. But I guess, because they're in Romania, that totally makes sense, actually. Like the Turkish invaders and all that.
Yeah, wasn't it like the time of the Crusades?
I believe so.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I believe so.
I remembered that being mentioned in like the opening crawl.
Yeah, so that was one thing that they also cut from, was a big like opening epic cutscene. In this case, it was just a wall of text to fill in lore, and you just have to remember it because there's apparently a lot of that text comes into important like story elements as you play through the game, especially in the ending. Now I don't know how this ends, but I assume Dracula dies, allegedly.
Dracula wasn't even there yet.
Whatever, vampire guy. I'm gonna call him Dracula.
Yeah, yeah. There's like one of the key characters of the game becomes Dracula, I think, by the end. At least that's what it says on the Wikipedia summary.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
And it also shows the origin of the vampire killer whip, or
yes.
I forget.
So
what.
I was getting to that point. So the point is, Leon defies orders. His status in society is taken away, and he goes to save his girl from evil vampire guy. And he meets this side character called, what's his fucking name? Whatever. The point is, he's like some alchemist, and he is in kind of the weird service of the vampire. And he goes, all right, I make weapons for you adventurers who come to, save your woman. And here's a whip. and it has alchemic abilities to kill the undead that prowls through this whole castle area. So there's, I think, 5 sections of the game, like 5 areas that you can do in any order, which is really cool. I like that. And it kind of encourages you to explore these 5 to your heart's content until eventually ending with a final boss of said area. Medusa Head, huge. I think there's like a what were some of the other bosses? It's been weeks.
There's like this. There's like this one whole room filling boss with like these 4 eyes you had to attack, and then this weak spot comes out of a hole in the ground.
I don't think I played that one.
All the while you've got this giant like snake centipede thing going around breathing fire and charging you. That's the boss I came across last night.
I did play that one. Yeah. Centipede boss.
I couldn't beat it. I think I was under-leveled.
Yeah, there's a weird amount of, I can't say grind, but definitely exploration to get things like orbs and sub-weapons, and trying to figure out how to mix and match your abilities and get stronger in the game. Very different than I think what we're used to with Castlevania. The action gameplay aspect of this really reminded me a lot of God of War. Joey, what did you think of this game overall?
It felt like Devil May Cry. Like it was Devil May Cry with the Castlevania skin.
Yeah, kinda. The first one, at least.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. It didn't really feel like a Castlevania game to me.
And you saw that as a negative?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to make a Castlevania game, you want to make a Castlevania game.
I wonder if that was a big critique at the time. I'd have to look into that further. I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I remember looking at the combat, and I just immediately thought of Yahtzee's little light God of War butt thing. But then again, this came out before God of War was released, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah, so it would have been, when did the first Devil May Cry come out?
I think it was 2001.
Devil May Cry 1. Yeah, 2001. So it probably is. You know what? You're right. The jump mechanic is very, very Dante-esque. I think my most frustrating part, which is a great mechanic idea, it just wasn't executed exactly right, is the jump whip combination to swing from platform to platform idea. I missed so many jumps and having to go back and forth because of that whip mechanic. It was like just not executed good enough, which made it aggravating.
I had trouble too.
Yeah. But as for what I thought of it, I thought going away from the usual Castlevania formula, I thought in this case was better because it truly felt like a 3D action game. It felt like we were taking the Castlevania formula, flipping it upside down, and making it 3D.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Would it have felt more Castlevania-like, Joey, if it was linear instead of choosing like the 5 rooms and double exploration type deal?
I don't know. Honestly, it just didn't feel like Castlevania to me, and I don't know what to change to make it feel like that.
Okay. But my overall thoughts on this was I like the story. The voice acting could have been better, but I thought the gameplay was just excellent, and I love the boss battles at the end. It really encouraged me to continue exploring, and I ended up going on Wikipedia, or not Wikipedia, big walkthrough sequences, and there's like 3 super secret boss fights that you can find and do. One of them's like impossible. I looked at 3 walkthroughs and they just said it's super difficult to beat one of them. It's like this whole room filling boss. It's like this giant armor thing. But the other 2 It encourages that because you can infuse alchemy into your whip to make like an ice whip or a fire whip or whatever, and that's really cool. So extra bosses for extra loot, essentially, huge upgrades. Very cool. I like the variety and weaponry that this game encourages you to kind of flip in and out between in real time between your different sub weapons. That's probably my favorite point of the game, and I really want to finish this one personally.
Maybe I'll go back to it at some point.
So
I mean, I like the music.
Yeah, I mean, I'm passing this game for sure.
Yeah, I'll give it a pass. It's decently made, though I may not go back to it.
Joey?
In the context of is it better? I'm going to fail it.
You don't think it's better than Curse of Darkness? I think it's way better.
I don't know. But I'll pass it as a game by itself.
Okay. So, in the concept of is it better, I honestly thought, and I didn't question it, that this game came out after Curse of Darkness. For some reason in my head, I thought Curse of Darkness came out in like 01, 02, and this was like the next year. That's why, because if I remember, the way we looked at Curse of Darkness was it was way too linear down empty hallways way too often, and the gameplay wasn't as, smooth as we wanted. There definitely wasn't a lot of variety to it, and that I think that's kind of now unacceptable that it came out 2 years after this.
I don't know. I felt about the same.
Okay.
So I don't think one was better than the other. I thought they were about the same.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I vastly preferred this one over Curse of Darkness. And I liked Curse of Darkness too, but I thought this was a massive improvement, even though it came out before it. So now I have a more negative opinion on Curse of Darkness. The game goes for about $15, plus or minus shipping, depending. I think that's quite affordable for a game like this. You get about 9 hours of gameplay, which is that's a good amount of time, I think, for an action game like this. I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, I ended up downloading it onto my PS3. It's like maybe $10.
Hey, there you go. Even better. Yeah, it is on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, just can't get it on PS4.
Okay. So, just one last thing, and then we can move on to the next game. So, it came out in 2003. Other games that came out in this time: Call of Duty, Jack 2, Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, Max Payne 2, Knights of the Old Republic, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, Devil May Cry 2. So, and Prince of Persia came out like, I think in the same 2 weeks of it. So it just massively overshadowed Lament of Innocence. And one critique I saw of people that love Castlevania Lament of Innocence is if it came out either the year before or the year after, it probably would have been in at least a top 10 game of the year conversation. But because it came out in 03, just people forgot about it like it was yesterday's news. But it still sold well enough where Castlevania obviously had a sequel, and they made other games after this. So the second game we played is Hitman Contracts from April 2004. Did not get released in Japan. Continued to be developed by IO Interactive and published by Eidos. This is, again, kind of the origin story of Hitman, Agent 47. So we got two games with kind of origin stories. I did not do that on purpose, actually. So I'm pretty happy with that. That turned out to be a good mistake. Or good coincidence. But
this wasn't really supposed to be an origin. They just couldn't finish the third game in time, so they made this game instead in 7 to 9 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's why
that's
there's
pretty cool.
Half of the game is a rehash of the first game.
Yeah, but I thought that was really cool because, I mean, honestly, who has played Codename 47 on the PC? I would say nobody. For many of us, the first Hitman game was Silent Assassin.
Seems like it.
Yeah, so they rehashed and remastered a few levels from Codename 47, which, by the way, I thought was really cool. And then
Yeah, but
What?
I think they fucked up the order because they put some of the first missions of the first game later, so they felt like they were super easy compared to everything else. Since usually the first mission is you learning the game.
Sure.
So you have like this basic ass mission in the middle of everything. You're like, okay, cool.
I see that. Yeah. I didn't really mind it. I played this game easily the most, and I'm really far into it. I wonder. I haven't looked up how far I'm in, but let me see here. Hitman Contracts. I'm like 5 hours in. Okay, so I'm like just at the halfway point. Okay. But as for those particular levels, I lost my train of thought. Save me, Joey. What are we talking about here?
I don't know what you're talking about here.
What did you think of the game then? As I try to recoup my thoughts.
I thought it was all right, but as you went on, you could see that they started running out of budget and time. They probably were overworked because they had a lot of cool cutscenes when you're in your fever dream, and then they kind of just went, "Oh, you're on mission now. No story for here. Just do your thing. Bye." So I don't know. I don't want to like this game just because I know the developers will probably put through hell just trying to make it.
Maybe. Sure. Okay. Colin, what did you think?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't entirely excited about another Hitman game because these games are just not the right fit for me.
Okay.
I
That's
mean,
fair.
I've played a lot of stealth games, but I've never been any good at Hitman. It's like hiding in the shadows is simple enough, but hiding in plain sight is another thing entirely. And Hitman is all about hiding in plain sight.
Right.
I mean, maybe I'm just not creative or strategic enough, or maybe I just don't have the right kind of patience required for this game's brand of trial and error. But yeah, it's I mean, I found this game more forgiving than Silent Assassin on getting caught.
Yes. That was a major improvement in the game.
And it also doesn't limit the amount of times you can save, so for save scummers like me, that's a lifesaver.
Oh, it's beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I was playing on the lowest difficulty, but
That's fine.
even with that, I couldn't really get past the second mission. I mean, got as far as...
You're talking about the snow level, right?
No, I'm talking like the fetish party.
Oh, the meat party?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
I mean, it's a fun premise for sure. But yeah, I only got as far as like finding the corpse of the girl you're supposed to rescue and then collecting her arm as evidence. And then after that, after that, just with the guy you knocked out earlier running in and shouting about you, I couldn't figure out how to get around that, so never did finish that mission. So yeah, I found the controls pretty smooth.
Yes, so I thought gameplay was very smooth, very forgiving with how characters interacted. I love the level layouts. They were very atmospheric. This game is clearly much darker than anything played. I mean, you start out in essentially the mental institution where they make all the clones for Agent 47, and he's just going around through all these like bodies and the place is all shot up. I personally like the fact that they brought all of this into a flashback storyline. That way they had a lot more freedom to, I guess, make what they were meant to do for this game. And I have a interesting history with this game because I remember playing this back in 2005 on the PC in Germany on my host parents' computer. And my host brother was really into this game, so I watched him play through most of the game, and I remember us being very amazed over the amount of like characters in the game that you could cycle in and out of and interact with or try to avoid. But I would say the darker tone and I just felt like they got super creative with this, with a lot of their restrictions and what they pretty much had to do to get by. And I have nothing but praise for this game personally, and really gets me interested in finishing this and going on to play Blood Money. But obviously, I have other Hitman games on my list I want to play before I get there. But I've heard nothing but good things about Blood Money, and I've really never looked into Absolution, but I do have it on my PS3. Those are my kind of simplistic and overall thoughts, because we played Hitman, Silent Assassin. It's more of the same of disguises, figure out pathways, and there's a lot of replay value here with doing other missions, and then you can go back and kill your targets in more other unique ways. Like, I looked up one where you can get a key card on a later level, go back to an early level, and that'll get you a door where you can get a minigun and just fuck shit up all throughout the level.
Yeah, because that minigun was actually part of the first game.
Oh, cool.
You had to like use it to get into the area, but they switched the mission up and you start after you did the assassination and you have to sneak out. Like, they didn't 100% take the levels from the first game and put it in. Some of them they actually put together. They put two levels together and made it more open.
Okay.
Instead of having to do, you have to get this key card, you have to set this nuke off, you have to do that. They made it, well, you can do whatever the hell you want as long as you get it done. So they did make improvements on that and some of the levels, so which was nice.
Okay. By the way, second straight game where we have a lot of gameplay in Romania. So, Joey, my life perpetually will always be connected to Romania unintentionally.
Yep.
Oh my god. I can't get out of this that country. But at least we know, Joey, we have a lot of experience there, so we know what life is like between hitmans and assassins and goats that you trade for women, obviously. Vampires.
They just got everything over there.
Goat sacrifices. By the way, Colin, the goat sacrifice, a real thing. I am not joking about that part.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a sheep.
I thought it was a goat. No, you know what? It was a chicken, I think. I think it was a chicken.
Huh.
Or was it a lamb? I don't even remember anymore. Some animal got sacrificed.
I'm pretty sure it was sheep, because I thought we had sheep.
Well, I know we definitely had sheep to eat, but I don't know if that was the exact one that got its head cut off on the farm.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm leaning goat. I'm leaning goat. I'll have to look at like old pictures because I took a picture of it. I'll have to pull it up, get one of my old hard drives out and go, yes, that was the animal that got sacrificed for our pleasure, Joey.
Of course.
Of course. I'm passing Hitman Contracts. I don't have much else to say over it. I adored this game, and I'm looking forward to more. Is it better? Yes, I think they definitely improved on a lot of the aspects that we heavily critiqued Silent Assassins for. Janky gameplay was fixed. NPC kind of line of sight was vastly improved. I thought they got a lot more unique with the assassinations. So that was a major improvement. I think it was full marks all around. And then obviously I think they continue to expand off this formula for years to come. And that's kind of how we got to where we are now. Easy pass for me.
Yeah, I'll pass it.
Yeah, I'm going to pass as well, even though I hate the development of it, but I'll pass it.
Well, I mean, that's like many games, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, what they made in like less than a year, I think it was around like 9 months or something.
Right.
It's pretty incredible.
So you can actually get the HD Trilogy remaster for about $20 on the PS3, or you can get the PS2 copy, which runs like $4. So for $4, I would say like pick this up yesterday. Add it to your collection. You won't be disappointed. Okay. 2 games, Castlevania Lament of Innocence and Hitman Contracts. Colin, give me your tier grades, please.
I give both of them Bs.
B and a B. Okay. Did you
think I liked,
prefer one over the other?
I think I preferred Castlevania.
Okay.
It's more straightforward.
Joey?
C for Castlevania, B for Hitman.
Wow. Okay. So I am also at a B for Castlevania, and I'm actually at an A for Hitman Contracts. But no matter what, that just still makes them both Bs overall. So we're all kind of on the same page relatively, plus or minus 1. I preferred Hitman Contracts over Lament of Innocence. How about you, Joey?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, so 2 out of 3. And that is the end of this episode. Kind of rushing through things, but circumstances. Hope we covered these well. Colin, it is your theme pick next time. That will be in 3 weeks from now. Taking a week off here, recharge batteries, get family out of our hair situation. And it's the middle of summer, and a lot of people are on vacation. So I'm sure we all have better things to do. But guys, thank you for joining. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye now.